Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Kristen Smith, Pennsylvania editor for the Center Square. Joining me today is the Center Square's Pennsylvania reporter, Anthony Hennon. Anthony, you had the privilege of speaking with addiction recovery advocates recently as there's been a hyper focus on expanding recovery services. I think when a lot of listeners imagine what we're doing to combat the opioid crisis, they think of rehab, they think of naloxone, they think of, all the emergency treatment that we do at a state level and county level to help addicts. So there's more to the picture, though, isn't there?
Yeah, so this is, I suppose you can model this as a shift from the short term to the long term. Again, we still have very high rates of overdoses. More than 5,000 Pennsylvania residents last year died from a drug overdose. So that's still an issue, and that's also driving this expansion that we've seen of naloxone, which is an anti-overdose drug that we've seen all across Pennsylvania. The state has provided more than 1.3 million doses of naloxone since 2017. But now, when we're looking on the county level, we're also kind of looking at people trying to establish, what do you do a day after an overdose, a month after, 2 months, 3 after. And we've seen more work coming from, drug and alcohol commissions on the county level of trying to establish these recovery centers, which is sort of, there's a lot that goes into these. It can be anything from the county drug and alcohol commissions holding meetings there, holding gatherings, but also they're becoming more of a place to establish community and to help people make connections again with people also in recovery, of getting out of addiction, of trying to essentially find a purpose in life, find something that can drive them, and also just kind of some daily tasks. I mean, we see some where they look to just have like a drop-in center where people can just hang out and get off the street, a place where people can do laundry, a place where people can do paperwork. So they kind of come in a bunch of different shapes and sizes, but it's this idea of making sure that when people are trying to get out of a drug addiction, working to remove themselves from those circles, of giving them something positive to do, of giving them some other connections they can make and getting them off on the right foot for their future.
So where is the money for these programs coming from?
Yeah, so it varies. I mean, you'll see some local county level funding, you'll see some state level funding, you'll see federal funding, but also the opioid settlement funding that's coming in to a bunch of different states. But I mean, Pennsylvania over the next 18 years will be receiving more than $1 billion from the settlement, from pharmaceutical companies paying out in response to a variety of opioid related problems here. So on the county level, counties have fairly wide latitude in how they want to spend this money, and 70% of this money in Pennsylvania will be spent as directed by counties. So we're seeing anything from recovery centers getting more support, hiring more certified recovery specialists to work with people in recovery. We've seen warm handoff programs, which essentially connects either someone coming out of prison or someone coming out of the hospital with a recovery specialist to help them with their substance issues. So we've seen this happening in Allegheny County, Northumberland County, York County recently announced $2.3 million from the opioid funds for a variety of recovery support programs. So, a lot of this is just happening on the local level, and people are kind of learning as they go of where this money should go, of where the demand is, and how county drug and alcohol commissions can meet this problem.
Keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Anthony Hennon, I'm Kristen Smith. Please subscribe, and thanks for listening.